Hey guys, welcome back. It is the month of September, so you know what that means. Yes, it is my birthday month, but it also means that it's time for another humble choice. So I've already redeemed my games on here, so you're gonna see my keys that they've given me, but you're not gonna be able to get anything from them. So sorry, I should have done this before I redeemed him, but I was busy and I'm tired. So to start off, we got some interesting game choices. Um, the first one being PGA Tour 2K21. Of course, it is a golf game. If you are into golf games, this might be the game for you. I'm not going to play it. I'm not a golf guy. But supposedly it's a pretty decent golf game. I mean, it is done by the company that brings you the same game every year, just a little bit different. So, I mean, there's that. Next up, we've got Neon Abyss. This is interesting. I have actually seen this on my Steam, but I've never really wishlisted it. It's basically a side-scrolling Metroidvania with really insane guns. It, the way it makes me feel like is, oh man, what is that? What is that game? Life. I'm trying to say life. I'm thinking Life of Brian. Like, let me look it up. I know I have it. I know I have it. No. Man, I don't remember what it's called. I really don't. But it's an interesting game where you play. It's a top-down shooter, like twin-stick shooter, and you kind of like everything's like real. Your mother's all like an evangelistic Christian, and she thinks you're the devil, and so basically you're going through like all these weird like levels and stuff like that using really weird stuff, but your tears are your weapons. God, I can't remember that. I don't know. It has that sort of feel because like the different power ups are really kind of cool. And it is a roguelike. It says combining furious run and gun action, deep and roguelike mechanics, Neon Abyss pits you as a member of Grim Squad, a task force set up by Hades himself to infiltrate the Abyss and defeat the new gods. Death is not the end, as every time you die, you'll find yourself more empowered than before. You have unlimited item synergies. Become monstrous. That sounds pretty interesting. Evolving dungeon. Pick and play the way you want. All right. You get pets. Hatch and evolve pets. If you need some company on your journey into the depths of the abyss, or just some additional firepower or assistance, eggs can be found which will turn into a random pet that has a special ability and will evolve the longer you survive. That's very interesting. I may actually have to play this. That seems really interesting. Like, these are all eggs. And pets, I guess. That's weird. Alright. I'm digging it. I might play it. Next up, we have Not For Broadcast. I have actually seen a couple of people play this. It looks really, really cool. Basically, you're a TV editor, and you've got to basically like keep everything going in the channel and stuff like that. It seems really kind of interesting. It's got a couple of chapters already. This is the early access trailer. I think the game's fully out now, so it has all the chapters in there. I've seen not Markiplier, but Jacksepticeye play it, and it's really kind of interesting. But you gotta basically pick and choose and everything else, and everything's all full motion video, and it's very kind of funny. I might play this just because of the fact of it is actually pretty funny. It's pretty cool. It's not very long either. It really isn't. Next up, we've got a game called Roki. It says Roki is an adventure game inspired by Scandinavian folklore, a dark contemporary fairy tale underpinned by a touching narrative, an alluring art style, ancient puzzles, and atmospheric exploration. So yeah, it seems like you're basically a side-scroller exploration game with jumping mechanics. I don't know if there are like enemies. It says join Tove or Tove. Tove? I don't know. On a fantastical journey to save her family, one that takes her deep into a hidden, long-forgotten world of folklore, filled with strange locations and even stranger creatures. Explore the ancient wilderness, solve its mysteries, and save your family in this modern adventure game for all. So yeah, it seems like a really interesting sort of adventure game. Big wolf there. Well, that's the puppy I want. Huh. Next up, we have the Narita Boy. This is a Humble exclusive. Humble Bundle produced this game, but it's your basic Metroidvania side scroller. I guess the idea is that it's a story. Flashback to the 80s. The creator, a genius of his time, creates a video game console called Narita 1, with its flagship title being a game called Narita Boy. Narita Boy becomes a tremendous hit. Copies of cartridges are flying off physical shelves worldwide. Within weeks, Narita Boy is the best-selling video game of all time. Critically acclaimed for its power fantasy, wielding the Techno Sword, and taking players on a journey like no other. Meanwhile, inside the binary code, the digital realm connects with reality. Him has returned and deleted the creator's memories. Supervisor program, Motherboard, and her agents are activated the Narita Boy protocol. The stallions are coming, and the digital kingdom needs a hero. So yeah, it's your basic side scroller. Really interesting sort of Tron visual style. Very heavy on the 80s. Very heavy on the 80s. Alright, next up we have West of Dead. West of Dead is actually pretty interesting. It's kind of a top-down twin-stick shooter, but just a little bit different. It says Purgatory, Wyoming, 1888. A place of gunsmoke and darkness, sin and damnation, wendigos and witches. A shifting, chaotic world that takes its form from the memories, culture, or beliefs of the souls who pass through. When a dead man awakens with only the memory of a figure in black, he sets into motion a chain of events that have truly mythic consequences. Step into the boots of the dead man, William Mason, voiced by Ron Perlman. I mean, that's a plus. That right there is a plus. And descend into the grim and gritty world of Purgatory in this fast-paced cover shooter which combines the fluidity of twin-stick controls and tactical cover usage. Put your skills to the test. Dodge behind cover as you try to outgun your enemies in the unknown procedurally generated hunting grounds. The Wild West has never been this dark. So the art style is actually pretty interesting, pretty decent. I wouldn't understand how the cover mechanics would work, but specifically for being a twin-stick shooter, but it might be worth a playthrough. I mean, honestly, Ron Perlman, come on, that guy's a treasure, the national treasure, the world treasure almost, next to Bruce Campbell. Next up, we have Atomic Crops. Atomic Crops it's been out for a little while. I've seen it. It's kind of weird. It's one of those games that's like, what's going on? But it's supposedly really fun. So the idea is modern city life got you down. Well, you've just inherited your late uncle's farm. You know, Harvest Moon vibes. Time to pack your bags and start fresh in a peaceful countryside. What could possibly go wrong? A nuclear apocalypse, that's what. Now you're in a hellscape wasteland, defending the last surviving source of sustenance, your crops. And every mutant wants a piece. Do as any self-respecting farmer would. Farm, marry, kill. Atomic Crops is an action roguelike farming simulator. Armed with your hoe, a watering pail, and a simple pea shooter, you must grow mutated crops, atomic crops, to feed the local town and make a hefty profit. Yeah, it sounds really fun. Defend your land from the mutant pests and bandits that invade nightly to ravage your fields. Court and wed townsfolk to fight and farm by your side. Gather upgrades and rescue captured farm animals to increase productivity, profits, and power. Develop your farmhouse for persistent bonuses across playthroughs to help secure your place in the leaderboards. That's interesting. I'm interested. That's got my attention. That is not at all what I thought it would be. But yeah, it is a twin stick shooter, but you're also protecting all your crops. That sounds really, really weird and absolutely dope. So, next up we have Heaven's Vault. This is probably one of those very methodic games. Very big head choices, I guess you could say. Good story, but it's an adventure game. It says Aliyah Elisra. I don't know how to say that right now. I'm tired. Is an archaeologist exploring a strange region of space called the Nebula with her robot sidekick, Six. Hoping to uncover the secrets of a long-forgotten past, when a roboticist from the University of Locks goes missing. Aliyah begins a trail of discoveries that will lead to the very edge of her world and the ancient secret of Heaven's Vault. So, yeah, it's your basic, puzzle game, exploration game sort of thing like that. The art style seems really interesting. Sort of like pseudo-realistic. So it might be something that, if you like that sort of thing, might be really good for you. Next up, we have Swag and Sorcery. I have a game that's kind of similar to this, but this one's been on my radar since it came out. It is basically a how do I put it? It's kind of an auto RPG. You basically you set up your team and you send them out to fight, and they can just keep continuing to fight and fight and fight and fight and fight, and then bring back and you do other stuff and build stuff and everything like that. But it's meant to be kind of like you pull yourself back from it. I don't mind making a video of this. It was pretty simple, but the premise is basically the further you progress, the more stuff that you can make, the more things you can do, and it's really interesting. Very simplistic gaming, though. We have Fort Triumph. Looking at the thing here, I was like, oh my god, good, it's another RPG, and it really isn't. It says Fort Triumph is a challenging fantasy turn-based tactic game where permanent death is a possibility at any moment. How's that for pressure? Lead a band of heroes with different skill sets through a witty parody fantasy plot. Missions with various objectives are awaiting you on a tiled, procedurally generated maps. Whether in story mode or skirmish, prepare yourself for a grand adventure. So it is a turn-based sort of RPG. I don't know if I don't know. I don't know. Something about the art style just has me like, but I mean, I guess it is what it is. I'd check it out. I'd check it out. If you're watching this video, and you're any of the people that normally watch my stuff, you know how much I'm into RPGs and strategy RPGs and everything else like that. Next up, we have Orwell. Ignorance is Strength. I actually have Orwell, the original. The idea is basically you are keeping watch of other people around you. If you've read any of George Orwell's books, like 1984 and things like that, it's all about the the dramatic connection politicized. We're being watched by Big Brother. The always ever-present eye in the sky, which is basically everybody's eye, making sure that you're not doing the wrong thing, or vice versa. And so basically this game is you making sure that the people that you're tasked to watch are doing the right thing. And if they're not, you turn them in. You're watching them. Very interesting game. You gotta have a lot of... It's one of those games where you really kind of have to pay attention to details to get what you need to do. I mean, if you like that sort of cerebral stuff, I say get it. Some of the other games that I played have been really good, kind of like this. But, yeah, takes a lot of patience, and you probably fail a lot. Next up, we have Framed Collection. I've never heard of it. So, the Frame Collection is a new compilation of the critically acclaimed, multi-award winning noir puzzle games, Framed, and Framed 2. Change the order, change the outcome. Rearrange the panels of an animated comic book to craft the story of a noir-style spy adventure, presented in an extensive series of visual puzzles requiring logic and imagination. Each panel move changes the current narrative, leading to all kinds of comedic blunders, untimely deaths, and when solved correctly, stylish heists, fast getaways, and nail-biting escapades. Huh. Alright. Seems rather interesting. But those are the games of this month of September. The the actual charity for September is the Women in Games International. So why don't we take a moment, like we have been, and listen to their plea? Shall we?
Hey everyone, I'm Joni and I'm the CEO at Women in Games International, or WIGI. Thank you so much, Humble Bundle, for this amazing opportunity to be the featured charity of the month. I'm here to tell you about Women in Games International and how we're opening doors for women in the games industry. We began our journey in 2005 with a core mission to help highlight and celebrate women making an impact in the global games industry.
We are definitely true equality for all and making sure that everyone really has a seat at that table and knows the conversation that they could be having and they should be having.
Women in Games International is a nonprofit organization focused on providing the resources for women and allies alike to begin, learn, and grow their careers in gaming. Our organization is focused on making sure that we not only close the wage gap for good, but also provide guidance and resources necessary for women to grow into leadership roles within the industry.
I think that's a big one, is I need to be good, like really good, not just okay. And no room to suck. Like that's the piece that I always felt like is a big part of the imposter syndrome. It's like you have to be perfect. All that level of pressure.
Our goal at Women in Games International is to truly advance economic equality and diversity in the global games industry. And with your help, we can make that happen. Through the support of the Humble community, we will be able to continue our mission of empowering women in the global games industry. Thank you.
Well, all right. So, that is Wiki. I mean, it's correct. I mean, the sad part is, with reality as a whole, women don't get enough recognition for anything. You know, even now, today, it's hard pressed to find things like this, which are normally male inhabited businesses, that there are few women so I'm really glad that something like this is trying to take place. I really am. But yeah, those are your games for September. Hopefully you enjoy them, you're on the bandwagon and doing this. Remember, I'm not being sponsored by these people. I just tell you this because it is a great cause and it's for charity. Obviously good charities, and you get some really good games. And I've been doing this for about 2 years now, so I should know My Steam library is huge. I mean, if you'd like to see any of these games played on the channel, just leave a comment. Let me know. I'll pop a video up real quick so you know what they're kind of like before the timing goes away. Or if you want, and you've already bought it, let me know what games that you're looking forward to play. But you know what? Until next time, try to be kind to each other. We're all fighting something.